I bet this will provide so much of insight how you are constantly that you're creating wealth according to what they say while you are keep on playing their game, which puts you in constant stuck and constant hustle and constant grind for the past maybe a decade. Because this is what exactly the plan they also mentioned by 2008. But look around. How many of the people are living with freedom? How many of the people are living with true wealth? Not at all, right? The reason because this is being designed so well, so precisely in such a way to make you to constantly struggle and stuck and work and work and work all the time. Oh, work, what happened? Why working hard is wrong? The reason because you're not supposed to work hard for the money to create the wealth when they are printing the money, because the money here is a fiat money when you believe time is money. So I'm going to bring you one of the game what they say based on the property investment. I'm no way against property investment. I'm not saying property investment is wrong, but when your income is tied up to the time, I repeat again, when your income is tied up to the time, when you say time is money, and when you're constantly working either in your job or small business or self-employed, when your income is tied up to the time, and if you go for the next step towards creating a property portfolio, that is exactly where you are stuck as a 97% of the people. Because if it's going to work out, those who have implemented the same strategy during the last inflation, which was in 2008, how many of them are financially free now? Not many. In fact, as of August 2024, more than 1.66 million Australians are struggling financially because of the mortgage stress. 80% of the Australians are reported that they are constantly working non-stop, where they end up in no time, lack of time with their family and for themselves. Why? The reason because of this, the game which is created against you to work, but not to let you to be free, because they don't want you to be free. For example, according to the property investors, real estate brokers, financial advisors, your own financial advisor or the bank advisor, what they say is, if you have the property, you have the mortgage, now you can get the equity, you can get the investment property. For example, if you're going to buy an investment property which is a value around 500 to 600k, for example, okay, to fill in the gap, even if you're going to rent it, to fill in the gap, you must spend around 200 to 250 AUD per week, constantly, to fill in the gap, the council rates, blah blah. I'll show you exactly. Okay, they will bring in all the profit. Yes, definitely. But at the same time, you must, from your pocket, you must give around 200 to 250 Australian dollars per week. It means around 13k per year. 13k per year you must give from your pocket. Yes, of course, when you go for that, eventually per year you might get around 60k to around 80k profit as per the 7% interest, blah blah blah. Of course, 60 to 80k per year you will get the profit. I understand that. But to maintain it, apart from the rental income you get, you must spend out of your pocket 200 and 250 Australian dollars per week, which comes around 13,000 per year. Yes? Okay. Then they say cash flow, blah, 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 blah. You are giving out of the pocket 13,000 Australian dollars per year. It means 250 Australian dollars per week. And where this money is coming from? Just reverse engineer it. Where this money is coming from. If you want to make, say for example, 13,000 Australian dollars per year, which is net, then you must make around, because of course you know about the income tax, right? To get this 13,000 Australian dollars from your pocket to get into the to pay a gap in investment property, you must make around 16,900 Australian dollars per year gross to get that net. So you must make or earn through your job or small business or a real estate, self-employment. You must make a gross income of 16,900 Australian dollars per year. And to make the 16,900 Australian dollars, the median person average income per hour is around $40 per hour. So now to make this 16,900 Australian dollars per year with a $40 per hour, a person must work around 422 hours, 0.5 hours per year. It means per week he must work for 8 hours extra on top of what he is currently working. Say for example, now you are working 40 hours per week or 38 hours per week. I understand that itself is not enough, because you have to pay your mortgage, and with the higher interest rates, because mortgage you are staying in the home, and with the higher interest rates now you are constantly struggling, and then on top of that the inflation, the cost of living, the bills and other payments, utilities. I understand that itself is so much of pressure, and followed by that you already working more hours. You are not actually, most of them are not working 40 hours. 7 in 100 Australians are working more than 3 jobs. It's a recent report from 7-Eleven. Sorry, not 7-Eleven, but 7 News. 7 in 100 Australians are working more than 3 jobs already. Why? You know that. You know the answer. And on top of it, if you get one investment property on top of it, you'll end up in working another 8 hours. Oh yes, it's okay, because I'll be getting 60 to 80k per year. Beautiful. And if you have been constantly working like this, you may get 60 to 80k. My question is this leading you to freedom or hustle? The point is, 97% of the people around the world are just seeing the money, they are forgetting their freedom. Because this formula will put you in hustle, because the point here is, they say cash flow. The point here is, if this money is not going to come, how do you pay? And in between, if there is something happens in your rental agreement, or if the property is not going for rent, even for a month or two, if the property is not rented, where this money is coming from? From your work, right? It means you must constantly work. Even though they say cash flow of this one, you must constantly show up. You must constantly work, because when you stop working, this money is not going to come. When this money is not going to come, you will not get the net money to pay back this property. So now tell me, this formula, is it going to make you free or hustle? It's very obvious. See this. This is not going to be definitely going to make you free. The reason, because you are focusing on the money. At the same time, you are losing the freedom, because it puts you in constant hustle. This is not how the 3% are creating their wealth. Yes, I understand that it's a passive income. But as long as you are constantly working for this many number of hours, per year 422, and per month it comes around another 35 hours per month, per week 8 hours, another 1 day, 1 full day of work. Get it? As long as you are following this formula based on what they say, you may have the money, but this money is not at all enough to achieve freedom, because for this money to get, you must constantly hustle and struggle and grind for the rest of the life. This is not how the 3% are creating their wealth. The 3% don't focus on this formula as per the game. As per the real estate game, they focus on something completely different. They don't put on the money in the property at first. The property investment is not their first target, because they don't focus on the money. They focus on achieving the freedom. What kind of freedom? The time freedom. It means you must focus on making an income which is not tied up to the time. The reason, because time is not money, time is life. You must focus on making an income which is not tied up to the time. That means you must focus on leverage. You must focus on leveraged income. The leverage income is where you make an income which is not tied up to the time. The moment you make an income which is not tied up to the time, that is where you end up in making an uncapped income. The moment you make an uncapped income and achieve the time freedom, then afterwards you have to go back to diversify, to create not only the freedom but also the wealth. That's it. This is the formula of the 3%. So the question to you is, are you going to keep playing their game just enough to hustle, thinking you are creating this? Because the time once lost is lost. You're never gonna get back. And this is not going to stop here. They'll say another property, and the cost of living is not going to be the same. That's how I ended up working for 60 hours a week. When I flipped the script, I stopped hustling and started living that life every single day. This is how the 3% play. Pretty straightforward. It is your responsibility to take ownership and commitment to learn the finance Not what they say, what actually the people living with freedom. You must learn from them, not from this formula, which is constantly putting you in hustle and grind, not at all freedom, not at all wealth. You're born here to live your life to the fullest every single day. They are not going to let you free, but if you're going to constantly play their game, yeah, get to know this. If you really intend to escape out of this hustle, drop in escape. Let's bring in so much of values and insights and the wisdom and the facts to you. Live your life to the fullest. We succeed together.